Am I live? Wait for somebody to come in here. It must not send notification to nobody. Okay. Somebody's in here. Did you get a notification? Somebody that's in here? Well, let's just hope notifications are going out. I'll go ahead and start. Now, this live is brought upon by some recent events, and I'm not talking about in the news. I'm talking about right here on YouTube. Okay? First of all, I like to say that race is a part of life. It's full of shit to be so-called colorblind. We are different colors, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's what makes us unique. It's what makes the world interesting. And nobody is truly colorblind. Most people that claim to be colorblind are the most racist ones, because it's a ploy to try to deny their racism by denying the fact that they see a difference in people for having different skin tones or hair textures. When we all see it, the first thing you realize about a person is their race and their gender. So, getting that out of the way, I like to say that racism is definitely taught. It's not something we're born with. It's not an instinctive trait that anybody has. Children demonstrate that every day. Children make friends regardless of race, and you can tell that it doesn't mean anything to them that their friends look different. Hey, Greek, okay. Thanks for letting me know you're driving. But I'm glad you're here. You're one of the, I hope you don't mind me sharing. But your comment the other day, it made me feel bad for the world. I didn't feel personally offended, but I was concerned about what somebody might have said to you to make you feel the way that you did. Hey, Deacons of Defense. You're a good one to have here too. But I made a video about a issue I'm having with a fellow black YouTuber, and I was saying I want people to pick a side so I'll know who's on my team and who's not. And you said because you were white, you wanted to tread lightly and you didn't feel like it was appropriate for you to pick a side. And I don't understand where that came from. And it bothers me that race would be an issue because I don't make it an issue on my platform. I'm very pro-black, but never anti anything else, including white. So although I'm pro-black, I'm not anti-white, and I was having an issue with another black person. So I understand. I mean, I know that you're driving, and I kind of understand wanting to tread lightly because people will attack you for having an opinion in a predominantly black sector of YouTube and being a white person, which I think is wrong. Hey, Rose Go Lightly. I think you have the right to express your opinion like anybody else, as long as you're respectful. But I said this was going to be a story time. Okay. I am from up north. I'm not originally from Atlanta. I won't say the state, but I'm from Ash. What you have to understand is that to white people, you being pro-black means you're anti-white. Okay, that may be true to some people, deacons of the defense. I can see that. I'm from up north, and where I'm from, it starts turning winter in October. It's heavy snow for months at a time, and you just have to get used to driving around in snow and on ice and black ice, and that's just a part of life. I'm trying to express how important it is for you to paint this picture of it being very cold in the wintertime. Okay? So imagine this very cold winters. And my parents were both professionals, upper middle class, and I had the privilege of attending Montessori school, which is private preschool that gets you a head start in life. And it's not just babysitting, like you actually learn things and you're, getting life experiences and you're being taught educational material before you're of school age, if you're not familiar with Montessori schools. But after school hours, if you don't have somebody to pick you up, you have the option of staying in the after-school daycare program. And there is where there's no teachers at that point. It's just babysitters. They hire younger people to just babysit the kids in after-school daycare, and they're not teaching at that hour anymore. It's just about watching the kids, entertaining the kids until the parents come to pick them up. And I don't have many memories about after-school daycare, but one of them that I'll never forget is this after school daycare worker singling me out for no apparent reason. I was playing with some other kids and they just came yelling my name. Ashley, come here. And even if there was an altercation, what she did wasn't justified. I don't know what happened. I don't remember exactly what happened, but she made me feel like I did something wrong. And I believe she said I was being too loud. And she told me, this was a white after school daycare worker. She told me that I was acting like an animal and I needed to go outside and get the animal noises out of my system. And so she took me as a young child. I'm younger than school age, without my shoes or my coat on, in the dead of winter, and made me go outside and stand on the pavement by myself. She didn't even go outside. She stood in the door watching me and laughing and would not let me come inside until I stood there and made animal noises. And I didn't understand what was happening at the time. I thought it was weird. I don't know why she made me do that. And it's not something that was done to me before or after. And I didn't realize until I was much older that that was an act of a racist white woman to a child. So, although at the time I wasn't conscious of it, I was the victim of racism. Yeah, she was dehumanizing you in front of the white children. Right. She probably got joy out of abusing you. She was laughing. She definitely did. And it's not something she even did in front. She did it like covertly. Like there weren't other people around. She took me aside, away from the other people. So I don't even know if the other adults knew what she was doing. But it's scary to think that can happen to our children. So that's that's the first. Now there are more experiences I've had as a child when I was school age. But that was the very first one that I can think of. Not only a racist, but a psychopath. Yes, and I have to assume that this was race-fueled because I was probably the only black child there. There weren't many black children at this Montessori school, and even less in the after-school program. When I was up north, I was often the only black child in the class, or maybe one of two. So I think it's safe to assume it's because I was black. Thank you, Greek. Only racist people don't go that far. She had a mental disorder. So, I can't say that we need to go about life acting like there's no race and everybody's going to be colorblind and see the world like you, because there's people like that out there. But that doesn't mean that we assume every white person is racist. I think it's only fair to give people a chance not to be racist before you deem them to be racist. Thank you, Rose. So sorry you had to experience that. New to the chat. Hello. Hi. Vote for life. Another recent experience here on YouTube. Uh, it wasn't involving me, but somebody who I hold in very high regard and recently became cool with, and I was offended because I've seen this person demonstrate very great character. I don't know how she feels about her name being mentioned, so I won't say it because she's not in the chat right now. But there's another white YouTuber that was attacked because somebody doesn't like their choices in who they support on YouTube. And because we're dealing with mostly black content creators, the person who attacked the white person went after their race and called them things like culture vulture and Becky, which is not her name, and made a point about her being white when her issue with her wasn't race related. And that's whack. I take great offense to that. I think that's very problematic as well. You can't go after people for being white just because you're mad at them if you want real racism to be taken seriously. Because what the white person in this situation did was not racist at all. In fact, it was supportive of other black people. So I'm very offended by that. Let me read the comments. I assume they all are. That way you aren't shocked when they try and pull their racist BS. And I understand that mentality, Deacons of Defense. I have gone through that way of thinking, and it's a good way to not get your feelings hurt. Rose Go Lightly. My brother had a similar experience with his first primary school teacher, and my parents didn't believe him. She remained his teacher for the first 4 years. Oh, wow. I can only imagine keeping it up with YouTube. Sigh. That's not whack, sister. And Rose said exactly. Now, Deacons of Defense, you're saying that what are you saying is not whack? Just so we're on the same page. I'm not saying that your comment was whack. What I was saying is whack is that the black person went after the white person just because they're white, but they were mad about something unrelated to race. Yeah, they called the white woman Becky. You know that black people use Becky as a umbrella term for a entitled white woman. So I think it was a misuse of the word Becky, of the name Becky, in my opinion. Yes, we as people need to be just as demonic as white people are to us. Becky with the good hair. Right. Well, that's what, I was saying right to Becky with the good hair. That's the sentiment of Becky when you say Becky. But I don't know about the demonic part, DOD. We'll have to agree to disagree on that one because two wrongs don't make a right. I respect your views, though. You know that. Rose Golightly. You can't assume everyone is racist, as that will make you closed up and defensive. Exactly. And that's no way to live. And you can miss out on some really good people by assuming they're all the devil. Hey, Trish. So, some of my best friends, I hate to sound cliche, but some of my best friends have been white, Asian, and Hispanic. And some of my worst enemies have been black. But some of my best friends have been black, and some of my worst enemies have been white, Hispanic, and Asian. So it goes both ways. But let's not be colorblind. Let's be cognitive of our differences, appreciate and celebrate our differences. Don't teach racism to your kids, because that's the only way they're going to pick it up. It's learned. It's a learned behavior. Hey, English goddess. We will, DOD. We definitely need to do a collaboration on this topic. Oh, goodness. I hate to repeat that. Everybody read DOD's comment. I'll say it. DOD is saying every last white person is demonic. That's his point of view. And he has reasons for feeling that way. So we'll talk about it. We'll have a live collaboration and we'll talk about this some more. Rose Golightly, false and premature judgment will make you look stupid and life difficult. So I think we all agree this is an interesting topic. Have a nice day, Trish. But that's my story time. Things are getting heated, and I want DOD to have a platform to speak. So he's not just in the comments. I want him to be able to really articulate these statements and give him a chance to respond to you in a proper way. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for listening. And I hope you took something from this. They have treated our people for 400 years like the demonic people that they are. I'm going to let you get it out, Deacons of Defense. I'm going to let you get it all out. We'll talk. Definitely. Thank you, Ash. I'm glad, Rose. All right. I love you all. Talk to you later.